Venus in the nakshatra of Ardra. Venus in Ardra is an energy where you can have a lot of frustrations with respect to relationships in this lifetime. There can be a lot of karma that is attached with the dissolution of relationships. And quite often, this is not pleasant because Ardra is a difficult nakshatra to deal with. I mean, I've made a video on Ardra nakshatra. You are encouraged to go check that out. Ardra is an energy where, you see, it deals with an aspect of Shiva, Rudra, which was ahead of its time of manifestation. Rudra is basically a raw form of Shiva. The Shiva that you see now, his idol, his iconography, is an embodiment of calm, as an embodiment of peace. It took a long time for Rudra to become as peaceful as that. There's a very famous quotation people don't know, the violence it took to become as peaceful as I am now. Okay, so Venus in Ardra can quite often be an energy where it is the karma of the individual to learn about love, which is what the planet Venus is about. To learn about love, to learn, in fact, even about beauty, to learn about attachment through releasing difficult relationships, through being frustrated in being able to manifest the best relationship that you want, through being able to create the kind of relationships and assets and material happiness, material fulfillment that you seek. Okay, so Venus in Ardra is a difficult energy in that respect, as Venus is naturally aligned with bringing things together, naturally aligned with bringing individuals and different aspects of beauty together to create something amazing. And Ardra is the opposite of that. Ardra is all about destruction. Ardra is all about dissolution. Ardra is all about starting again, redoing things. Ardra is about frustration. But then there are good aspects also of what Ardra is. By the way, if any of you guys see people trolling below, then they probably failed to move beyond this point where I was talking all kinds of bad things about Ardra. Okay, so Ardra, obviously it has some good aspects of it as well. What happens when you have to do things again? What happens when you gather the courage to dissolve what is not working out, to let go of what does not work for you? What happens then? Spiritual growth. Enlightenment is also associated with Ardra, because Ardra is the thunderbolt. Ardra is, it's signified by, a single tear, but that single tear is more related with the expression of this energy and the outcome of this energy's influence in your life. If you look at this energy purely on merit for what it is an energy of that spark, that thunderbolt that wakes you up to the reality of what life is, wakes you up to the reality of your patterns of self-sabotage, your patterns of not being able to do things in the best fashion. So Venus in Ardra is an energy where, if you have this energy, if you have this placement in your chart, the best way for you to find a lot of balance in relationships is to figure out a way that you can build intense connection. Venus in Ardra can be a very sexual energy, because Ardra deals with everything that has a lot of energy associated with it. Venus in Ardra can show a person who's great, in some kind of designing software, or online design in some sort of a way. Online retail could be seen through Venus in Ardra. Okay. And in terms of the spiritual understanding of this nakshatra placement of Venus, you need to understand that Venus in Ardra, even though quite often it will give you frustrations, sorrow, even in relationships, but it does not want to give you sorrow. It does not want to give you those difficulties. It wants to teach you how to let go of relationships, how to let go of material plans, material desires, how to let go of a lot of these things that you hold close to your heart in the most non-confrontational, in the most matter-of-fact manner. Venus in Ardra is here to teach you that, look, relationships are important, assets are important, but there are a lot of relationships and assets in the world. You can always build again from start, and you shouldn't be afraid of moving on to bigger and better things in the pursuit of your highest expression. Venus and Ardra people, quite often, I've seen a lot of people come to me with relationship problems, and there's this common problem that I have seen. Venus and Ardra, Venus and Mrigashira. We'll talk about Venus and Mrigashira as well in the next video. But Ardra maybe is something that I really wanted to make a video on, because quite often these individuals can be pretty clueless. Like, what the hell am I doing wrong? How suddenly, like, what just happened? How does this relationship suddenly fall through? Like, how can it be? And it's because you need to learn. You need to learn that, let's say you have only one whiteboard in the office, okay? There's just one whiteboard. Quite often you have it, right? There's one main whiteboard in offices, and you draw on that, you write thought of the day, you write plans, etc. Next day, no matter how beautiful the thought of the day was that you wrote the previous day, whatever how great the plan was, maybe you made a drawing, etc., you gotta wipe it clean to start again. If you don't do that, nothing would get done. Quite often it is with relationships, quite often it is with art. Venus and Ardra, by the way, can make a person a great artist. This can be a great artist. Okay, so it's not necessary that the difficult significations of every nakshatra placement of a planet is going to show up into your physical life. Quite often it can show up in your life in a spiritual way. Quite often it can show up in your life in a way where, you know, you're just transmuting that energy and it's working well for you. Okay, so this was my very short and crisp analysis of Venus in Ardra. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you can stay abreast of all the wonderful content that I post here. Push the bell icon so that you can be notified every single time I post. Thank you so much. Take care. Adios.